All right, let's take a look at worksheet 6 here and go over how to find the slope from each of these tables, right? So our m is going to be equal to the change in y over the change in x. Something I saw a lot was people just putting y over x. I want to make sure we know it's the change from y to y to y. So from this y value to this y value, from 0 to 8, what are we doing? Well, we're adding 8. And then from 8 to 16, we're also adding 8. So my numerator here is going to be positive 8. That's my change in y. Now my change in x is on the top. From 2 to 4 is plus 2. From 4 to 6, that is also plus 2. So that's my denominator. That's the number on the bottom. And 8 divided by 2, 4 times 2 over 2 times 1. Cancel the 2's. We're left with 4 over 1, which is just equal to 4. So my m, or my slope, for this line is equal to 4. All right, we're going to repeat that process for each of these tables. Number 3, my change in y is plus 3 plus 3. My change in x is plus 3 plus 3 as well. So my m is the change in y over the change in x. It's going to be 3 over 3. As we know already, that's a whole fraction, and that's equal to 1. So my m is equal to 1. Number 4, my change in y on the bottom from negative 2 to 0. I'm adding 2, adding 2. So my numerator will be 2. And my denominator from 3 to 4 is plus 1. From 4 to 5 is plus 1. And 2 over 1 just gives me a slope of 2. Just like that. The more we do this, the more we repeat this process, the easier it's going to get, the more it's going to stick in our brain, and the better we're going to be come our 8th grade year. Number 5, my change in y, plus 1, plus 1. My change in x on the top is plus 5, plus 5. Now, when we do this, right, our brains are going to kind of fill in the blanks for us a little bit too quickly. It's going to look at this and go, oh, 5 over 1, my slope is 5. But we have to remember to essentially flip these changes around so that the change in y is on top, which is 1, and my change in x is on the bottom, which is 5. Now I've got the fraction 1 over 5. Now if my 1 were on the bottom, we could get rid of it, just like we did over here in number 4. But if my 1's on top, I got to keep it on top. 1 over 5 is 1/5. All right, we keep it as a fraction. That is my slope, 1/5. For number 6, from 5 to 4. Now this one's going to be interesting because we're not adding anything here, but we are subtracting 1. My change in x on the top is plus 2. If m is the change in y over the change in x, my change in y was negative 1. My change in x is positive 2. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative. Once again, if our 1 is on the top, even if our 1 is a negative on the top, we have to keep it up on the top to remain a fraction slope. Number 7. My change in y is again decreasing from 6 to 0 is minus 6, minus 6. But on the top, we've got a plus 2, plus 2. So we set up our fraction. Bottom number goes on the top. Top number goes on the bottom. Now, how many times does 2 go into 6? Well, 3 times. And a negative divided by a positive gives me a negative. So my slope that I get here is m equals negative 3. And finally, nice and easy, plus 2 over plus 1 plus 1. change in y over the change in x is 2 over 1, which is 2. Make sure you're writing your answer as m equals blank with a box around it, so it's nice and clean, legible, we can see it. All right, on to the back. Number 9.